All right, guys, strap in. We have a crazy drop for you this week. It's going to be a long one. We got a ton of new stuff in from Raid Japan, Daiwa, as well as an exclusive color from Raid Japan that we're going to jump into. This is the drop. How's it going, guys? Travis here from Tackle Bros, aka Tackle Prez on Instagram. My friend QTR_46 is here with me. He will not be talking today. He has lost his voice, unfortunately, from the Michigan game, I'm assuming. That or something else weird going on. Check out our main Instagram, and pretty much all of our stuff now is at Tackle Bros Fishing. Yeah, that's who we are. This is the drop, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday evenings. We get to hang out with you guys, bring you some new tackle, and I got a lot of really cool stuff this week, including a new exclusive color from Raid Japan. It's September, so this is kind of where, for me, I get super excited about fishing. Most of the pleasure crafts, the jet skis, you know, all that crazy stuff is off the water. We kind of get a couple months here for us to have the water to ourselves and just kind of be out there, and things are a little bit more quiet. You get more focused. It's honestly the best 2 months of fishing, in my opinion, all year long, although October does get pretty chilly up here. I know you guys a little bit further south probably really enjoy October. Last week we had our Labor Day sale, which was really awesome. Thank you guys for all the orders. Hopefully you've got them already, or you'll be getting them in the next day or so. We were really overwhelmed with this one. Like, you guys absolutely killed it, and we're very appreciative. I know Johnny and Cody in the back have been going crazy, and Chrissy's been picking crazy amounts of orders, and everyone here has just kind of been like, we've been stunned by how well you guys have been receiving us, and I really appreciate it. I hope you guys are going to be able to get out this week fishing. I hope you had a good last week fishing. Let's get into this thing. So we're going to start right here with fish rollers. Now, fish rollers have been my #1 mid-strolling, you know, sort of minnow bait for me. This is going to be our shop custom color in Shikoku. So this color might look a little bit familiar to you guys. I'm actually going to grab one. This color might look familiar to you guys if you are big fans of Raid like I am. So I thought that Raid already had a great color. They just didn't have it in the right bait. Now, this is also Shikoku. Oh, there we go. This is also Shikoku. So this is Shikoku in the Raid Libero, and then this is our Shikoku in the 4-inch fish roller. If you're not familiar with the fish roller, this is, in my opinion, the #1 mid-strolling rolling bait. The name says it all. This bait has a crazy amount of rolling action. It also works really good as a bunch of trailers. It has a bubble chamber in the middle of it, which is going to kind of allow it to sit a little bit flatter in the water. It has a bunch of marks here on the back, so you can make sure you line up your hook perfectly every single time. It's available in a ton of different sizes. Now, our color is only going to be available in the 4-inch. That's the most popular size for us up here, and I think overall that's the most popular size, although the 5 and 6.5 are starting to creep in a little bit. This is the custom color. It is basically a black back with a smoke belly. The red eyes were very important to me. Just another little target for the fish to key in on. I'm a huge fan of, you know, darker black baits. It's something, I mean, we've done it time and time again in other baits where we, you know, hone in on black baits. It just looks like a little bit of everything. It's going to be good in clear water. It's going to be good in stained water. This one's going to reflect light. It's going to be transparent. So yeah, the top is more of a, you know, solid black color, and the body, as you can see here, is more of a clear sort of smoke color. Again, an amazing fish catching color that I think should work pretty much everywhere. It looks like a lot of stuff, and those red eyes, man, they're just something more for the fish to key in on. It was something that I really wanted in this, and I'm happy that they were able to accommodate. So the new color Shikoku Tackle Bros exclusive is now available, and then we got every other color of fish roller finally back in stock. Now, some of these we haven't had in a very long time. Some of them were actually new, so we somehow missed a couple colors on the first couple batches, but every single fish roller color is finally in stock. I'm gonna run through them all. There's a lot. I'm gonna do the 4-inch first. 3-inch, I think we only got a couple colors in. I'm assuming they'll be coming shortly, but 4, 5 and 6.5 all in stock. Now with the fish roller, there's two different series, and I'm actually going to take one out just so I can explain it to you a little bit better. So our color is going to be a standard fish roller. So that means that it was basically a poured plastic. The colors didn't require anything after it was poured to kind of make it pop as it does. And then you will also have the fish skin version. Now the fish skin version is sort of a either computer printed on actual coloring. So this one is Stain Wakasagi. It has a more lifelike, realistic color. And then this one also has a little indicator dot on the head, which I know a lot of you guys like. For me, if I'm in clear water or if I'm in slightly stained water and I'm fishing pretty shallow, that indicator dot can be a real game changer. I'm gonna run through the fish skins first, and then we'll go into the normal colors. So this one, like I said, is gonna be Stained Wakasagi. So it's gonna have that little hit there. We're also gonna have Inako. So I'm hoping you guys can see. It's got a little blue hit on the fin. It's phenomenal. Kiwami Ayu. It's a great one. Live Fish. This is a fun one. This is one of my favorite colors. This is Jewel Wakasagi. So sort of a yellowish back with a, I don't know, like a pink back and then into a more clear silver belly. Lively Chartreuse. Hustler is always a popular one. The Bait. So this one also gets a little indicator dot on the top of the head, a little silver one. And finally, Clear Wakasagi. So another indicator dot, just another really natural bait fish looking pattern. Now those are the fish skin colors. These are gonna be the standard colors. We're gonna have Sandfish back in stock. One of the most popular colors, Zako, or Zako, depending on how you say it. Stealth Fish. Cosme Shad. This one's got a nice little bluish green fleck in it, which gives it a lot of flash. Dark Cinnamon Shad, one of Raid's best colors in my opinion. Pearl Wakasagi. You've done some damage on the Pearl Wakasagi, haven't you? Yeah, you hate me telling them that. White Chartreuse. Sweet Fish. Call White. This is a popular one up here for sure. And then this one I actually really love because I love that straight black eye. This is going to be Ice Killer. So sort of a clear with a bluish tint to it, and then some fleck in the belly. Phenomenal color. Yeah, so that is all of the 4-inch colors, including our new shop exclusive Shikoku color. So definitely check these out. Available online and in store now. Now for the 5-inch, we are gonna have a lot of the same colors, but they don't make some of them in the 5-inch. So I'm actually gonna run through these really quickly, really quickly. Now with the 5-inch, I'm actually gonna take one out so I can show you that the bodies are actually quite a bit different. So this is the 5-inch in comparison to the 4-inch. You can see quite a bit size different, but completely different profile. Now the 5 and the 6.5-inch were developed after the original fish rollers. These are called the super fish rollers. So these have a crazy amount of roll to them. They were designed first and foremost, roll in mind. I think these ones actually just turned out to be phenomenal rolling baits. These were specifically designed to roll amazing. It's gonna have a little bit more flatter of a top, a little bit more flatter of a side, and then it also has this more diamond shaped kind of fish scale pattern embedded into the actual bait. Phenomenal one, ultra popular. I will run through the colors really quickly. This color, by the way, is that Jewel Wakasagi that I was talking about, which looks absolutely phenomenal in the 5 and the 6.5. We're gonna have Kiwami Ayu again, Live Fish, Inako, Lively Chartreuse, and then in the standard colors, we're gonna have Sweet Fish, Stealth Fish, Stain Killer, Pearl Wakasagi, Ash, Pearl Wakasagi, and Zako. So those are all the 5-inch, and then with the 6.5, so I'll do another size comparison for you. This is gonna be the 4-inch again. This is gonna be the big guy, 6.5-inch. So the 6.5-inch is also very popular. I'd say the most popular ones though are the 4 and the 5. 6.5, you know if you need this one. If you're chasing some absolute giants or your bait fish are pretty far along, this 6.5 is an absolute killer. All right, so Kiwami Ayu, that's the one I just had out for you. Jewel Wakasagi, Zako or Zako, Stealth Fish, and Stain Killer. Okay, so quick note, the 6.5-inch come 4 to a pack, The 5-inch come 5 to a pack, and then the 4-inch come 6 to a pack. So yeah, that is the Raid fish roller. In my opinion, the #1 strolling bait. I know a lot of guys like the Jackal or the Depths Sakamata Shad, but these things have been, for me, hands down the best strolling bait. If I had to choose one, I'm choosing these. So check those all out from Raid Japan. Carrying on with Raid, tons of other new stuff. I'm gonna go right here though. This is something that was highly requested. I got more Deka frames in, so I got my hands on what I believe to be the last couple that they had in the warehouse. This is basically a larger size, net frame that they come with on the 350 and the 200 Raid nets, so super long extending nets. This is an upgraded, larger size net, so you can hopefully net bigger fish. These are all back in stock now. Again, there's only a handful of these, so a bunch of you guys messaged me right after they sold out last time. I hope you get your hands on them. If not, I don't think we're gonna have these back until mid next year from what I was told, but I got the last ones in the warehouse, so these are now available again. And then also we see a huge restock on the Fat Whips in the 3-inch and a couple new colors. So we got Scuppernong here. We also have Gripin Chartreuse, basically green pumpkin chartreuse, green pumpkin seed, green pumpkin blue flake, Match the Bait, which is a wicked awesome color, and then Gurapin Sukaru. So those are back in the Fat Whip, and then in the little 2-way, big restock on green pumpkin seed, as well as dark cinnamon blue flake. And then in the 2-way, huge restock in a couple of the most popular colors. Again, green pumpkin seed, Cosme Shad, a couple other ones. And then a new color in the 2-way, we're gonna have Orange Punch. So this is gonna be that green pumpkin top with that awesome orange belly. This is becoming a staple color across the entire Raid lineup. So definitely check this one out. Oka Ebi is now back in stock, or Oka Ebi. This is basically like a shrimp looking bait. A lot of guys use these as trailers on mini jigs or on the Igudama type cover. We also have a new color in that. It's going to be Magic Oil, so sort of like a motor oil. So those are back in stock, and then a huge restock in all the popular colors in the 3, 3.5, and 4-inch in the Raid chunks. So this is one of my favorite chunks. The Igu chunk pairs up nicely with pretty much any jig. I also use these a lot on those Footmaster football jigs. They have a crazy big claw. So like most chunks, these are very claw forward. This is gonna be the 3-inch. So this is kind of the smallest of the size. And then once you get up to that 3.5-inch, that claw becomes massive. Now these move a ton of water. They come beautifully over cover. The claw is a little bit more heavy, I would say, in the tip. So again, it's gonna move a lot more water, come over cover great. It's gonna look very nice in the water on a jig, on a football jig, anything that you kind of want to pair it up to. A lot of the times I rip off this part of the body just so that it snugs up a little bit nicer, especially on the bigger guys. But this is one of our all-time favorite jig trailers. So check these out. Again, back in stock, most of the popular colors, like your green pumpkins, your blacks, your black browns, all that is back in stock. Staying on the subject of jigs, we see a big restock in the Raid Master jig. Now this is kind of their flipping pitching jig. And then also a big restock in the Footmaster. This is turning into one of my all-time favorite football jigs. It's just a perfect size for me for how I fish. Available in 7, 9, 11, 14, and 18 gram. I didn't get black and 11 gram. I know a lot of you guys are gonna ask, but I did get most of the other popular sizes, a bunch of blacks, a bunch of green pumpkins. So those are all back in stock. All right, quick segue into the hard baits. All colors of the Raid head swim Liberos are all back in stock. 7 grams seems to be the key size. We've been out of stock on quite a few of them for a long time, so that Shikoku's back in stock, Juketsu is back in stock, the bait is back in stock. Pretty much every color of Libero is finally back in stock. If you're not familiar with the Libero, that is Raid's little underspin that they ship with already pre-rigged with their own plastic. Now you can take it off, put your own plastic on. I actually fish it with this plastic until it rips. You do get 2 extra in the pack, and you do get 2 actual underspin heads in the pack. Now with the 5 and 7 gram, the blade is smaller and it is kind of, you know, fixed with a double barrel, so not a wire. with the 10 and 14 gram, it's gonna have an actual wire that drops it away from the body. I like this one when I'm fishing on bottom. That wire will sometimes kind of dig into the bottom a little bit, but I fish a lot of underspins on the bottom, especially in these next couple months. The fish start to slow down. You can get that little bit of flash when you kind of get a little bit of line pickup, and then you just kind of bring it along. This 7 gram, man, has caught me so many giants this year and last year. It's just an unbelievable bait. So Libero's back in stock. Let's move over to Raid hard baits and specifically big baits. You guys are all probably familiar with the Raid Dodge and the Deka Dodge. We have 5 new colors available in the Raid Dodge. Now this is Raid's top water crawling bait. So one of those baits that kind of, I don't know if I should do that on camera, but I'm doing it. So this is a bait that basically crawls as it walks across top water. Ultra effective for big fish. I've caught 2-pounders on this thing too. It's just a super fun way to go and fish. A lot of companies make these. I really like the Raid one. They put a big puffy feathered treble on the back. It seems to just have a little bit of extra drawing power. I'm gonna run through the colors really quick before I do any more weird movements. This first one is going to be Lime Coach. So it's kind of like a fire tiger without the red. This next one is going to be Salamander. So that's a badass one, dude, with that black feather. Like that's a sweet one. This is where Ashton wishes he was. This is gonna be Love Hotel. What a name, dude. These guys, they don't miss with names, man. There's a good name in the next one too. Oh no, they messed me up with this one. This one's gonna be Oni Yaman. I sound Jamaican. And then we're gonna have Gunmetal Chartreuse. So 5 awesome new colors in the Dodge, man. I love throwing this thing. It's always a blast watching it come across the water, fish blowing up on it. It's a palatable size as well. So the Dodge is gonna be 114 millimeters, 1 ounce. So you don't need really specialized gear to throw this thing. Like it's shy of 5 inches. This is a phenomenal top water crawling bait available from Raid. Staying in big baits with Raid, we see a brand new one to the market. It's going to be the Raid Double Header. Now there's gonna be a 220 millimeter, 2 ounce bait. This is actually a really cool one from Raid. So I got this one opened up right here. There it is, double header. So this is a double segmented dual props. So it's gonna have a prop on the front, a prop in the middle, and then it's gonna have this sort of elastomer type tail. You're actually gonna get a second tail in the box, which is pretty cool. Now this guy, you can fish it a bunch of different ways. I think the most common one is gonna be a straight retrieve. So you're gonna have those props rolling just kind of a little bit under the surface. You can walk this bait, so you can just give it twitches. It's gonna allow that tail to kind of walk back and forth a little bit, or you can bring this thing to the surface and kind of rip it like a prop bait. I've seen them do it all 3 ways. They've been teasing this bait to us for quite some time, so Raid is very excited about it. I think it's really cool. The colors that they've come up with are amazing as well, and it's a pretty palatable size. 220 mil isn't too crazy, and a lot of that you gotta think is in the tail. So yeah, just another cool little bait from Raid. They just keep doing these crazy things, man, and they're generally certified fish catchers. I'm gonna run through the colors. So this first one that I have in my hand is going to be Hustler Stealth Fish 10N 10-Nen. So we got classic Raid color, lemon powder, the old double eye. So this is going to be Sugai. This is actually a really cool one, man. So this is the only one that has a secondary eye painted on the second segment. Really cool. And then finally, U-Shock, because that was a tough one, dude. U-Shock. This is like a trout pattern. It's really cool, actually. Ignore my dad jokes. Yeah, so new in from Raid, double header. Really excited to get our hands on it. I'm excited to actually get out and fish with it because I've seen it in the tank a bunch of times and it looks phenomenal. And I think this is the last thing we got from Raid. We decided to bring in some of the Raid Japan face gaiters. So this is a face buff. It's gonna basically block the sun, block the wind, keep your lips from going chapped and dry. I got 4 different colors for you. This first one is gonna be brown, which it doesn't look brown to me, but this is like a whitish gray color. These are all gonna have the Raid logo across it. It's actually a really cool neck gaiter. I'm gonna take this one out. Let's look at it. I mean, what are we doing? So this is the Raid Japan face gaiter. It's actually pretty cool, man. I like those bolts. So it's just a standard buff. If you're a big Raid fan like I am, Just something cool to wear out on the water. It's gonna protect your face, it's gonna protect your ears, a little bit of wind and sun protection. That's what we're all looking for. So I have 4 different colors. This one, it just says THB. We have this guy, which is kind of like a black with more of a gray Raid logo. And then we have the whitish gray one. So 4 colors, pretty cool to have that in from Raid Japan. Huge drop today from Raid Japan, guys. This is one of those companies that I really, really love in the shop, man. They don't make anything that I don't like when I use it. It's very rare for companies. There's like 2, maybe 3 that are kind of like that for me. Anything Raid makes, almost always, if I use it, it stays in my boat. Those little Igudama type covers, man. I run the chatterbaits a bunch, the foot masters. I like the jerk baits. I like the 1-ways. I like the 2-ways. I like it all. So definitely check this stuff out from Raid. I don't know when anything will be back in stock. If you're familiar with how Japan kind of does their product scheduling, it is like months out. So a lot of this stuff I ordered in like September of last year. So yeah, Raid Japan. Okay, quick restock note from Duo in the BR series. So we got some of the most popular colors in the BR fish back in stock. The Saguro Katakuchi. I don't know why this one's been so popular, but Chartreuse Silver has been one of our best sellers. We also have UV Silver back in stock. And finally, Kibanago Green. Big color. To go along with those, you probably want BR heads. I got it. We are gonna have the 3 gram back in stock. 5 gram, 7 gram is finally back in stock in the store. That's the #1 size that everybody keeps asking for. I also have the 12 and I also have the 14. Every size BR head is finally back in stock, so enjoy it. Hopefully you guys get your hands on some if you've been waiting. Yeah, that is what is back in stock this week from Duo. Very slight. Let's have a look at some BKK stuff now. So last couple weeks, we have had the BKK fully loaded OCD box. You guys have been eating these up. We do have a video coming out on this, I think Sunday video. So there's gonna be our Sunday video. I'm gonna break this thing down fully, and I'm actually glad we waited because a lot more stuff to do with this whole system has showed up. We're gonna talk about it a bit today. I'll get into more detail on the weekend. These are back in stock. And then this is something that I'm super excited about. Now, I do use some BKK hooks. I have been starting to try to implement them just so I can more familiarize myself with the brand. But for me, there's some hooks that I just have so much confidence in, and I don't know what would take me away from that. So they have come out with the OCD tackle starter kit. This is gonna be an empty box, but not quite empty. I have one open here. This is what it comes like. Essentially the same fully loaded OCD tackle box with no hooks in it. So you're gonna get all of these empty little cases. If you guys are struggling with hook storage like I always do, I've never found a good solution. I've tried the Planos, I've tried even the Ryugi ones. I do use a Ryugi for my drop shots right now. This case is ingenious. This is gonna solve any hook problems you could possibly have. Now, I don't know, I feel like I gotta be Vanna White here and hold it up like this. I'm gonna do Vanna White. So you're gonna get, how many of these? You're gonna get 8 of the smaller sized little OCD accessory boxes. This is the small size. And then you're gonna get 20 of the medium sized OCD accessory boxes. This thing holds a lot more than that. I bet you could probably double that. These will also come with these little stickers for you to, write your own hook, the name of it, how you want it. One little sticker is going to go on the top of these, and then you're going to have one on the side. So when you pull it out, it's going to be really easy to identify what's going in it. This is honestly the best hook storage box I've ever seen, and it is crazy affordable for what it is. Now this is going to be $39.99 US or around $55 Canadian. It's going to come with everything you see here, and then if you want additional boxes for this, we got a restock on the OCD accessory boxes in the medium and the small back this week. I bought as many of these as I could because I just see the potential of, getting things down. Chris, who also works at the store, you guys will see him in a video at some point here, or if you watch some of the older videos, we got Chrissy's in those. He took 2 Plano 3700s, condensed everything down into one of these boxes for all of his flipping, pitching, all that type of stuff. He's got his drop shot weights in here on some of these. It's just a phenomenal phenomenal hook storage option. Probably the best I've ever seen. I know a lot of you guys maybe like that Plano one. I wasn't a big fan of it. I like how maybe the bullet weights sit in there and stuff, but for me, this just makes too much sense, especially with the ability to label everything down. It's not 300 or 400 or whatever that OCD box is. It comes fully loaded with hooks, which is a great deal. This one you can kind of customize and put your own stuff that you already have into it. Now, if you like some of the BKK hooks, you have the option to do that as well. They have come out with a new Armor Point series. So these are gonna be their 20% stronger, 30% harder range of hooks. These are gonna come already pre-packaged in those little OCD accessory boxes. The options are endless. Maybe you're just a big fan of the BKK Dropshot Hook. You can just buy the Dropshot Hook already pre-packaged in those little OCD boxes, pop them right in, you're good to go. Maybe you only like their worm hooks. You can do that, pop them in, and then throw your own Dropshot hooks in there. They've given you a ton of options. Now, I'm gonna run through what these are available in. I'm just gonna hold them up really quickly. I got this on a piece of paper, bear with me. All right, I'm gonna start it with the trebles. These are gonna be the BKK Hyperlatch 70 SS Ultralights. These are a thin wire hook. I'm gonna have these guys right now from a number 2 all the way up to a number 8. We have their new Armor Point heavy cover flipping hooks. Right now we have a 3 and a 4/0. I'm assuming they make a 5 and a 6 and all the other good sizes. I'm gonna have their Offset Worm Hook WG in the Armor Point series. This is gonna be available from a number 2 all the way up to a 6/0. So full range in this guy, which is awesome to see. And then we're also gonna have the HD version of the same hook. This guy is gonna be available from a 2 all the way up to a 6/0. Which is awesome. Then we have the Offset Worm Round Bend from a number 1 up to a 5/0. We also have their Permalock hook. This one has a little bit of a crazy bend down here at the end. I don't know if you can zoom in on that so that they can see it, Ash. So this is, I think this is the same hook they use in their underspin. It also has a screw lock, so you screw it in, kind of put it into your Swimbait or your worm, whatever you're using this with. This guy is going to be available from a 1/0 to a 5/0, and then their Dropshot Hook. This is the Armor Point version of their Dropshot Hook. Keep that in mind. I right now have a number 4, a 1/0, and a 2/0. It will be available in the number 1 and the number 2, and so on. Once they kind of get their stock back in on all this amazing new product. So if you guys are a fan of BKK or have just been looking for an ultimate, terminal tackle storage solution, definitely check out this OCD box system. This is a standard size box. It's gonna fit a million hooks in it. You could fit a lot of those little boxes, especially if you go with the small ones. I cannot co-sign this thing enough. It's awesome. And then yeah, if you like their hooks, you can just refill them with these things and end up with a ton of extra boxes that you can either keep at home that you refill so you have extras, or I mean, just cycle through them. I don't know why you throw them out, but new in from BKK. Awesome, awesome stuff. Okay, so XBraid, we got a couple sizes that we were missing in on their sinking. We see the 15-pound and the 10-pound now available in that high-vis kind of, I'm gonna say like a muted yellow color. That's kind of what it looks like if you see it there. This is a really cool braid. It is a sinking braid. This is one I'm gonna remind you guys that the knot is very important on this one. So if you're tying like a uni to uni or even like an Albright, doesn't really like this one. We found that an Alberto knot or an FG knot is the best one for this line. It works phenomenal. Just a cool sinking braid. Sinking braid has kind of been trending since the All Might, aka the fire braid, kind of came out and changed a lot of the way guys are fishing. You guys see on my rods, pink across the board. I have been implementing this a little bit. I love this line. It's really, really cool. And those are the two kind of key sizes for spinning. And then we also get the 10-pound in on the Finesse series. So this is that camo, thin diameter, XBraid, YGK, makes some of the best braid for other brands as well as themselves. So definitely check those out. And then into Daiwa. We have a ton of new product from them this week. I'm gonna start out with something simple. The J-Fluoro in the full-size spools has finally arrived. If you guys have used the J-Fluoro leader line, this is basically similar, but in a full-sized mainline spool. It's going to be available in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20, and 25. So full size range. This is a pretty affordable fluorocarbon line. Daiwa makes great stuff. One of our favorite main lines for a long time was that X8 Grand. Their fluorocarbon Samurai is one of our best sellers. This, I do not expect anything less from it. Awesome line from Daiwa. And then we finally see the return of the Daiwa Samurai Braid. I'm going to open one of these up because I haven't had these for a long time. Now, I'm assuming they've reformulated this because if you guys were familiar with the Samurai, so this was in that clear kind of weirder looking line case before, the prices were weird. Like the 10 pound was more expensive than the 65 pound and it was all over the place. It looks like they've made everything the same price, which is good to see. This is Daiwa's most premium braided line that they offer. It has a very thin line diameter. It's slick, it's beautiful, beautiful line. I'll run through the sizes that we have in here right now, and then the additional size, I think we're only missing 80 pound. We're gonna have 8 pound. This is only in dark green for the time being. 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, and 65. So all the most popular sizes. I've had a ton of requests to bring back that Samurai Braid. Haven't seen it. This is the obvious reason why. They relaunched it this year at ICAST. We're finally getting our hands on it. Excited to put it back on some of my rods, along with that awesome new YGK XBraid. Some of my favorite lines in the store. All right, let's talk KAGE. If you're not familiar with KAGE, it's likely because it is a pro shop exclusive line from Daiwa. It's not made for big box stores. Now, with that being said, it's also not available to sell online. KAGE is, especially in these reels that I'm going to get to, has been one of our most successful lines in the store. There is a way for you to buy them if coming in person is not available to you. You can call us, you can email us, send you a draft order, get it shipped out to you. With that being said, these are the all-new 2024 KAGE LT series of reels. These were one of our best-selling reels in the previous version. They went away early last year. Now, with these ones, they've added a couple new sizes. Before, they would go from a 1,000 all the way up to a 2,500. Now we're gonna see the 3,000 and 4,000 available in these guys, which is awesome. 3,000 is my favorite size. I love these little T-handles, man. For some reason, it just fits me better. If you're a fan of that, you know, cork with that rubber grip handle, they're still gonna be available in the 25 2s and 1,000s. This is a phenomenal line from Daiwa. Now, they've gone with the light tough design, so these are gonna be very durable, robust. They are also going to have that air bail design, so this thing is almost impossible to bend out compared to some of the, you know, piano wire designs that a lot of the other Daiwa and other brands go with, which is really cool to see. Zion, it's going to have the air rotor in it. It's just a great premium product from Daiwa. The styling is beautiful. It's one of my favorite looking reels that they make. It's just a really, really good one. Pairs up awesome, obviously, with the KAGE line of rods, which they also redid for this ICAST. And yeah, definitely check it out. So like I said, 1,000 all the way up to a 4,000, all available. If you need them and you can't get here, give us a call. We'll make sure we can get these out to you. Excited to have these in from Daiwa. Okay, so Daiwa and rods. We have a couple of the CDN series back in stock. This is basically they kind of like Tatula XTs, but a lot of them come in two-piece models, so this is an exclusivity to Canada. There's a lot of walleye actions in these, which I think are pretty cool, and then the travel aspect with a two-piece, it's a nicer rod. They also have a cork grip, which I'm a big fan of. A bunch of the CDNs are now back in stock, and then a bunch of Tatulas, like a regular Tatula, are back in stock, including the two-piece spinning. This is going to be the 6/8 two-piece in the medium. And then finally in the Tatula lineup, the Chris Johnson hair jig rod has come back in stock. This rod has been one of the hottest rods in the entire shop. It is a great hair jig rod. It's a great spy bait rod. It's a great underspin rod. You can do a ton of stuff with this. Chris did a really good job on the action. Very critical of hair jig rods. A lot of people call anything 7/6 medium light a hair jig rod. This is a legitimate, proper hair jig rod from a guy who's known to throw a lot of hair jigs. It's beautiful styled, and one thing I like that the Johnson brothers and Patrick Walters have done, fork handle on the Tatula Elites. So check this one out, specifically designed by Chris. One of the, I think this is probably this is the best selling one that we have, right? Yeah. So back in stock now from them. And then last but not least, from EVERGREEN Japan, we're gonna have a new entry into the Super Combat Stick lineup. This is gonna be in the spinning model though. So this is gonna be a 7/2 medium spinning rod. If you're not familiar with the Super Combat sticks, this is basically Evergreen's ultra high-end rod. Crazy different from the original combat sticks. The styling is much nicer. There's a ton of carbon fiber. They've used a nicer blank. They've used nicer guides. The actions, I believe, are specifically picked by HITE. So this is his Dropshot Nico rig rod. I think this would be a great Nico rig rod. I also think it would be pretty good for throwing little swim baits. It's got a little bit of tip, and then it's pretty parabolic down to that guide, and then you're back into backbone. So this has a red handle, which is a little bit different, but I think it's a cool look for this one. This is Evergreen's most premium line of rods. X45, like all the best stuff also from Daiwa, because they collaborate on stuff a lot. This is likely a one and done. They only make a handful of these, and then they go out to specific pro shops. You only get a couple of them at a time. The last one that they did was that Super Combat stick in the jackhammer rod. Sold out very quickly. I don't anticipate this one will stick around too much. So you get the rod, you get this awesome red evergreen sort of neoprene rod cover. Really cool one to see from them. It has a hook keeper down there, so that's pretty cool to see as well. All new from Evergreen, Japan. All right, guys, that's it for us this week. That was a big drop. Perfect timing, in my opinion, for, again, some of the best fishing in the entire year. Hopefully you guys are able to find something you've been looking for. I know those fish rollers have been out of stock for, I don't know, like what, 3-4 months. So we got a really small order of them the first time. Now we finally got a little bit of these in stock. Get out this weekend, enjoy it. The weather looks like it's going to be good, especially for us anyways. It's going to be pretty good. Me and Ash are going to do a tournament on Sunday. Should we film it? Maybe we could film it. You're not going to talk very much though, because you got no voice. All right, so maybe we'll film the tournament for you guys, put it out. Enjoy the rest of your weekend starting tomorrow, and I will see you guys next Thursday.